What is up? We are your Colorado real estate family, and if you're planning on moving into Colorado but not exactly sure what city to move to, today we're going to be comparing Denver and Boulder.
All right, let's go. If you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Colorado and you want to learn all about the different cities, we're the people that you need to know. So do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell, because we put out 2 videos a week covering different cities every week.
And along those lines, if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, licensed real estate agent right here, helping out so many people just like yourself who's watching this video right now who are moving into Colorado. So we're going to throw that phone number below, right there. Give us a call, and when you call that number, you're going to get Chelsea. Definitely not me, but probably Chelsea.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. So before we really dive into the weeds of this thing, let's go ahead and compare the obvious, which is Boulder is a lot smaller than Denver. So much so, it's about 8 times smaller in regards to population. Boulder, you're looking at a population of 110,000, whereas Denver, you're looking at a population of like 739. So almost 8 times bigger in regards to population.
Okay, so let's talk about where they're located. So Denver's pretty easiest. It's going to be our central city, whereas Fort Collins is going to be our kind of furthest north, and then we have Colorado Springs, which is kind of like our biggest city south, where Denver is right in the middle. So if we're talking about Boulder, though, you're going to go to the northwest side of town, kind of along the, definitely along the foothills, into Boulder. And so it's kind of between, would you say midway? Not really. Closer to Denver than Fort Collins, but on the northwest side. Okay, so because of that, that's going to kind of get us into some of the big comparisons between Denver and Boulder, which will probably help you decide which one is best for you. So the first one is mountains versus city. That is the huge difference between, say, the city of Denver and the city of Boulder, and that's going to be the mountains. So if you like that whole mountain town, you're nestled up into, you have, landscapes are just the most beautiful landscapes in all of our cities. You're going to get Boulder. We're going to have, they have the green belt all the way around it, which they say is going to stay. And like, people really appreciate the fact that when you feel like you're in Boulder, that you are in this just nature, wonderland, really. It's just gorgeous. Whereas like Denver is going to be that, that city. They're going to have more parks instead of like the mountains. And they're very
flat too.
Yeah, flatter.
Like Boulder, if you're driving up into the neighborhoods, you are going up into the hills, like you're doing this, or you're even going straight up, going up through like up to Gross Reservoir. So that's something to kind of think in mind. Where Denver, it's very flat. You're going to be very flat going into the neighborhoods. Where Boulder, it's very terrain oriented.
So with that, obviously that whole mountain versus city thing, let's talk about skiing a little bit. A lot of people come to take advantage of our mountains. Well, you would think that Boulder being kind of nestled into those foothills, that you would have access to all of the ski resorts and everything. But in reality, the closest ski resort to Boulder is going to be Eldora. And then with Denver, the cool thing about Denver is the accessibility going into the mountains. And so that's going to be taking I-70 all the way up and then hitting all of our kind of big mountain towns. So it's interesting to think that Boulder being as close to the mountains, but still farther away from some of our ski slopes, you would have to take, let's see, which direction? Probably 93.
Yeah, 93 straight down, which is like a pseudo highway. It still has lights and everything, so it's not your big highway like I-70, and so that's why it takes a little bit longer to get into the mountains for those larger ski slopes. So we're talking Vail, Breckenridge, as opposed to Denver. Denver is like has I-70 and 25, right? That has those 2 major highways in Colorado, direct access to those, where the main highway going into Boulder is 36, which doesn't take you to any ski resorts.
Yeah, and then just to speak a little bit on 93, 93 is not quite big enough for how much traffic it now has. has. With Arvada kind of squeezing all the way close and some of our other cities squeezing close into those foothills, a lot more traffic is going 93. So it's not quite ideal. I suspect it's probably going to be getting bigger soon.
Yeah, there's talks about, so we always talk about 470, which is like one of our main highways, and then also tollway here in Colorado. That's the last quadrant that needs to be completed, pretty much from Boulder all the way down into Golden. They're saying that 93 is eventually going to be turned into that 470. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but that will change things dramatically in regards to the commute into Boulder and having that highway access.
Yeah, so right now, Denver is still easier to get to our main highways to access a lot of the surrounding things that you're going to take advantage of. But if you want mountains, Boulder has them right there. So you don't have to do anything to go hike or anything like that, go into the rivers, things like that. You're going to have it right at your fingertips. Okay, so let's get into the second topic when comparing Boulder and Denver, and that's going to be the employers. So obviously, with Denver being larger, there's going to be a lot more job opportunities than, say, Boulder. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of the top employers and kind of the trend that we're seeing. So
this wind. So we tried finding a corner because this wind. I don't know if you guys noticed.
We shoved ourselves in a corner.
Crazy right now in Colorado. All of our Halloween decorations are done.
Yeah, they were cute for like 3 days.
We're going to have to, like the day of Halloween, we're going to have to put them up, and hopefully the wind doesn't tear them down again.
I don't know how people in our neighborhood did the blow-ups. Like, those things would just be like a kite. But anyways, okay, we digress. So, talking about Boulder and some of the top employers. So Array Biopharma is going to be one of the top employers. The Boulder County Health, so their health system. Google has a huge, headquarters there, so that's obviously the big one. But the big trend about Boulder, all in all, is it's a little bit more tech-driven.
Yeah, and we've had people like you who reached out in regards to tech, where you are coming here for a tech job, and that's why you are looking at moving into or around Boulder. There are many of you who talk to us who are moving into Boulder just because of the tech jobs. Like we had one gal who was coming here because I don't know if it's called Snapchat or Snap.
Snapchat.
Called it, I know, but she called it Snap, I feel like, and I was like, what the heck is Snap? And she said Snapchat.
We're not cool.
Sorry, I'm not cool. I'm like still on Facebook. I'm a little archaic in those ways, but
at least it's not MySpace.
Yeah. But I guess they have a great Google location there as well too, which Chelsea kind of already mentioned. So they do have a lot of tech jobs in Boulder, whereas Denver, okay, so let's talk about the top employers. So the University of Colorado, the Denver Public School System,
Centura.
But I mean, when I think about jobs in Denver, I think about like DaVita, right?
Dialysis.
DaVita Dialysis, and so like we do also have a lot of tech jobs in Denver as well too. Yeah. We've been seeing a lot of like commercial real estate companies moving in Denver. I don't know what that's all about, but talking with a few of you, we had a few coming here moving here commercial real estate or expanding the business into Colorado. Right. So some stuff that we've also been seeing on the ground, but those top three are mainly going to be the main employers within the city of Denver.
Okay, so say you're like, well, Chelsea and Peter, like I really want to be in the foothills. I want that beautiful landscape every day. It's not uncommon to see people traveling from Boulder to Denver for work. Obviously Highway 36 is that highway we talk about that kind of cuts across town from our two main highways. Our main highway going west to east is going to be I-70, going south to north is I-25, and the Highway 36, it's backwards on the thingy, right? On Highway 36 cuts across that straight to Boulder. So is it a bad commute? Not really. In fact, they widened the road recently. They added an additional toll lane, right?
Yeah.
So it made it a lot easier.
So something else to kind of throw in there too, and I don't remember this because I was a kid when it was all going down, but that 36 used to be called the Boulder Turnpike. I guess back in the day, it actually used to be a toll, and so now they have like a toll lane going straight into there. Don't really remember that.
I don't remember that either.
I have lived here my entire life, but my parents and grandparents always called the Boulder Turnpike. To this day, still, they don't call it 36.
I know, that's funny. It is interchangeable depending on how long you've been here.
Yep.
Okay, so that kind of wraps up the jobs and the differences. Don't be afraid if you still want to live there and do the commute. People do it all the time. Yep. Do we have a bus? We still have a bus system and everything?
Well, so they have the Flatiron Flyer, which I believe is mainly Boulder to Broomfield, Westminster area.
Yeah.
And so it's mainly that gap, but I think they do have a line that goes all the way down into Denver.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into that next topic. This is a big one. Peter and I were talking about this topic, and we're like, oh, where would you live? And I thought I knew what Peter would choose between Denver and Boulder. And I said, where would you go? And he's like, Denver. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, no, I'd be in Boulder. And so we actually learned, we've been together for 10 years, almost married 10 years. And I just found out that he would rather choose Denver over Boulder. So if you know after the end of this, or you have moved recently and you want to just comment down below and tell us what you think, because even we didn't know this about each other.
I'm sure if you guys have watched our other Boulder videos, I have a love-hate relationship with Boulder. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and beat around the corner around it. Me personally, I don't know. I've always been more of a city boy, and just Boulder doesn't really fit in with my vibes.
See, and I grew up in the mountains with my dad, and I choose mountains all day long, but opposites attract.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so let's get into the one thing that does create some changes in people's mind, and that's going to be cost of living.
Yep.
So if you're looking at Boulder as a whole, it actually is 167.2. Okay, when Peter and I do cost of living, tell them how we do cost of living.
Yeah, so we do the cost of living index where 100 is your national average. So boom, there's your baseline, right? If it's higher, obviously it's more expensive. If it's lower, then it's cheaper than your national average.
Okay, so Boulder, all in all, with all things combined, it's 167.2. So, what is Denver?
All right, I was wondering, I was like, are you going to go through Boulder? Or
No, it's your turn.
All right, so Denver, overall, we're looking at a 127.8. So both places are more expensive than your national average, but Boulder takes the cake.
Boulder definitely takes the cake on that one. Okay, so let's talk. I didn't go through all the cost of livings. We do cost of living videos, and so we're not going to waste our time going through all the different topics, but let's talk about some of the most important ones. Let's talk about transportation. So transportation is 95.2, so below national average, which is awesome. I think that contributes to kind of our public transit and all of that. What about Denver?
Denver's a 116.1, and this one surprised me quite a bit because I thought Denver would be lower. There are a few factors, maybe possibly auto insurance, why this, when you have more congestion, you have more accidents, so those premiums might be a little bit higher in Denver as opposed to Boulder.
Okay, so the next category we're going to do is actually utilities. Utilities for Boulder was 92.5.
All right, and then Denver was a 96.2.
So not huge difference there. So we're going to go into the next category because this is where Boulder just every time just takes the cake. They just go ahead and just demolish all people and all surrounding cities, and that is real estate. So when talking about real estate, I'm going to let him cover a lot of the numbers and breaking it down. But if we're looking at this whole index, as far as Boulder goes, it's 322.
3 times the national average.
My Lord.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world? Okay, Denver is 183.1, so still pretty expensive in comparison to the national average. Yep. If you haven't checked out our most recent video, we actually just did Colorado compared to other states. Go check that out because we do talk about some of these things that I think is really important. But this is city over city. Boulder is just blowing Denver out of the water. Can you break that down a little bit?
Yeah, so the median sales price right now, my numbers just with the percentages is of August of 2022. Boulder's median sales price is 1.11 mil.
Yeah.
So now you know why those numbers, even though Boulder was cheaper on transportation, Boulder was cheaper on utilities, the real estate's like, watch this, see what I could do, and then just shoot straight up. Denver, your median sales price, same month, August of 2022, was $537.
Which is so different. Now, people will pay to go live in Boulder. That's not an issue. We still have plenty of people who plan and they're like, yep, I still want to pay that. Now, we do cover a lot of surrounding cities for this exact reason. Boulder County does expand quite a bit, and so it kind of captures some of these surrounding cities where we start to see that median sales price go down. That's why we cover a lot of those cities so that we can really help all of you guys depending on what it is that what your goals are. So whether you want to go and you want to be right in that foothills and you're willing to pay more for that house, then that's fine. If you're like, hey, I don't mind being 15, 20, 30 minutes away from there, then we also cover that as well so that we can show you that the further away you get, obviously the cheaper the real estate becomes. So.
All right, so let's kind of compare year over year, because last time we did a Boulder video, the median sales price was like right at 900. We're like, holy crap, that's super high. Now it's that. Boulder year over year, so we're talking August of 2021 compared to August of 2022, is up 35% year over year. Now it has been down the last 3 months. Denver is actually down 2% from August of 2021 to August of 2022. So here's what it is Boulder is turning into a super affluent area, right? We were always kind of known for Boulder being different from the rest of Colorado. We've had celebrities live there and kind of do their thing, and Boulder's just like that specialized place that everyone wants to live in Colorado. So the price points are going to be a lot higher. You do have those mountain homes too, which will change that price quite a bit. We're talking about homes that have views for days of Denver. So it's pretty much like saying, I'm gonna live up on this mountain and I'll just look at the big city.
So beautiful. I mean, custom homes. So they definitely draw those up. The other thing about Denver is that we do have a lot of like mixed use or attached.
Yeah, so Denver, you're going to have a lot more condos, townhouses as opposed to Boulder. Boulder, you'll have a lot more single family. That will drive that price up a little bit more.
Now around the colleges, obviously, we'll start to see more of those condos and things, but we do see a lot more single family for sure in Boulder. Okay, so now it's time to address it for all of you sport lovers out there. As far as Boulder and Denver, this is so obvious, but we have to talk about it. If you are a college fan, or you have a daughter or son that's going to the college, or you went there, you're an alumni, or just whatever it may be, you're just super into college sports, you're going to be right there in Boulder. Now, you don't have really professional sports though, so Denver's going to have all your professional sports. So let's see.
So the Broncos, the Rockies, the Avalanche, the Nuggets,
Rapids.
Rapids.
Mammoth.
Sorry to all my soccer players. I just
Mammoth.
don't
I'm a
cover
soccer player.
Okay.
I love you, soccer players.
So Mammoth is our lacrosse. For those of you who don't follow lacrosse too often.
Where's our sports fans?
Yeah.
We're all Broncos fans.
Yeah, we're pretty much just all Broncos. Every now and then I'll go to a Rockies game just to go for the environment more than anything.
Speaking of which, I know I'm getting off topic.
Yeah, oh no, I know exactly what you're talking about right now.
But I'm so excited that you can now hit golf balls into the stadium.
Into Coors Field, yeah. Yeah, this has been a huge topic of discussion.
It's been at every party that we've gone to, every housewarming things we've been going to. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna go hit it into."
I will say though, from what I've heard, I haven't done it, but if you're afraid of heights, might not be something you want to do because it is high up there for sure.
That's so funny. Okay, so yes, if you are looking for the professional sports, you're going to be right there in Denver. You can walk. The walkability is incredible, or just hop on the light rail and go over to a game. Like that is something that Denver is just known for. It has all of the tailgating and McGregor. So after the games and things like that. Whereas Boulder, you're going to get like very college-like support environment. A lot of the college. I don't follow. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm not, because I don't follow college sports very much. But we have some of our friends who would prefer college sports. So it really just depends on your cup of tea, but those are the differences. Now, if you have to go down to Denver, again, it's not a huge commute, so it's no big deal. But it would just be nicer if you could just jump on the light rail and go down.
Well, yeah, and so Denver, like if you live in the heart of downtown Denver, you could literally walk to Coors Field. You could walk over to Empower Stadium, which is where the Broncos play, or the Ball Arena. I keep on wanting to call it the Pepsi Center.
It used to be called the Pepsi Center.
It was the Pepsi Center for the longest time. I keep wanting to call it that. But if you lived in the heart of Denver, you could literally walk to either one of those. They have those scooters they could rent. So
we don't typically talk a lot on politics, but I think it's really important when comparing two cities as far as kind of the political trends. So as far as Denver and Boulder go, I mean, they're pretty progressive.
They're super progressive. I wouldn't say pretty. They are super progressive. And Boulder more so than Denver.
I think so too.
But I mean, it's one of those things. They're two super progressive areas, so I guess that's where they're like.
Now, there might be some diversity in Denver just because of how much bigger it is than Boulder. Boulder does have a reputation to have a very progressive trend in politics. Yep. And I don't know if it's ever really wavered from that. So I think it's pretty, if that's what you're looking for, like you're going to get that and you're going to fit right in a political standpoint.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into the vibe. They have very different vibes, and we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. So Boulder, okay. By the way, I love Boulder. Remember, I chose Boulder. I'm not harping on Boulder.
I think honestly, this is the biggest reason why I chose Denver was the vibe of Boulder.
Which makes sense. I'm a little bit more of a hippie child. Okay, so Boulder is going to be, very our naturalists, down to earth,
granola.
The hippie. I'm not trying to say hip. I don't know if hippie's a good thing or bad thing, but I think it's great. I think it's just like really laid back and very natural. Mountain, kind of got that mountain vibe still. Absolutely, like some of the most active people live in Boulder.
Yep. Everywhere. And you could definitely tell that. Like Denver is a super active city, but Boulder is like super active on steroids. It's just everyone's doing something. Everyone's running. Everyone's hiking. If you go up Boulder Canyon, it's literally like people just lining the roads all along Boulder Creek right there. And so it's pretty awesome how active it is in Boulder.
The other thing too is Boulder isn't really known so much for like nightlife. So, but day life, I mean, all day long, right? Oh, yeah. So hiking, like a lot of the sports and just being right there. But as far as yes, they still have great restaurants. Yes, they still have some probably little nightclubs here and there, especially on Pearl Street. But they don't have like Denver's nightlife, So talk a little bit about the vibe in Denver.
So the vibe in Denver, obviously, it's up a lot later, but Denver is very business-driven, and so when we did our interview video there, no one really wanted to be bothered to answer questions or anything. Everyone was like, go, 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 here and there. Where Boulder's a little bit more laid back, enjoy life, man.
Small town feel where they are interested in other people. A lot of people are from out of state, so it's not uncommon for them to want to meet new people and all of that. So,
and I will say, and I might get some darts for over this one, but Boulder is much more opinionated too. Their people there, so if you voice an opinion that's opposite of theirs, you might hear it. I'm not gonna lie.
I think that's Denver too.
Denver, like I said, I think people are so driven to work all the time.
It is very business driven.
Yeah, it's so business driven.
Also, you know, Denver has this incredible nightlife, right? Like, it is wild down there. Like, I'm like now feeling like old where I go down there.
We haven't experienced the nightlife there in
it's been a minute.
So long, but yeah.
But it's very, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is not uncommon. It's busy, it's wild, it's fun, it's loud. And it's just not like that in Boulder. It's not fun and loud. Like, if you honk in Boulder, everyone's going to stare at you. If you honk in Denver, they might not hear it.
That's true. It's just background noise to them.
They're like, oh, it's just like that city noise, it's noisy and busy, and it's for some people, not for us. If you know us, you know that we live outside all these cities, so we can enjoy them all, but not have to live in any of them. We love
Great
them all.
To visit, but not
yeah. We love to visit. We love to play in these cities. We love to help families call these cities their own, but we may or may not choose those for our families. So, and that's the point of this video, is to help you figure out which one's best for you as well. The next topic, which is always my favorite because I'm a mama, is schools. So this one is a big one.
It's huge.
It is a big one. So we've talked a little bit about how cost of living and real estate could deter somebody from Boulder and choose Denver. Yep. This might be one of those deciding factors the other way. So Boulder, it's pretty obvious that Boulder County has a very awesome school system, and they're graded A overall for their schools, whereas
Denver's overall is a B. But there's one number I want you to look at. We're actually we pull all these grades from niche.com. One thing that I really want you to look at is academics, where Denver is a C plus and Boulder's an A. So it's just all kind of where Denver has Boulder is the diversity in their public schools. So Denver's an A in diversity, where Boulder's a B.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of gives Denver the upper end if you're looking for more diversity in the school system that your kids are going to. But if you want academics, Boulder, it's hard to beat.
It's hard to beat.
Everyone talks about it, and everyone moves near or around Boulder because they want to take advantage of the Boulder Valley School District. It's just they have a great school system up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we didn't add diversity into the topics today, but just because we're talking about it with the school system, we are going to see more diversity in Denver than we are going to see in Boulder.
Yep.
It's just recently, since we've had a lot of people move from out of state into Boulder, that we're starting to see diversity change a little bit, but Denver definitely is more diverse than Boulder.
It is.
Last topic is for our travelers, or say your families are coming into town, which is going to be distance to the airport. So Denver is 37 minutes away from the Denver airport, but there's no toll. So you're going to take I-70 out and you're going to go straight over to the airport. It's pretty easy to access because I-70 does touch a lot of Denver all the way throughout the city. And so it is a pretty easy commute outside of the traffic because I-70 is
that number could easily change. Like if you're going in the middle of rush hour, it's not going to take you 30 minutes to get to the airport.
No, you need to plan accordingly.
You're looking at an hour and a half. Now the good thing about Denver is with the light rail station, you could hop into Union Station and take the light rail straight out to DIA. So Denver does have that on it. Now the time it'll take you to drive from Boulder over to DIA. So here's the thing. If you take the toll, it says it's 42 minutes. If you don't take the toll and you pretty much take 70 over to Peña and all that, it's 45 minutes, okay? Yeah. Cool, whatever. Why would I pay the money if it's only a couple more minutes to take the regular roads? The only thing about it is if you're going in the middle of rush hour, you're going to want to hop on that toll because that toll will take you directly to DIA.
Yeah, it's going to change it significantly. Yep. Like, it's going to be a headache. I recently just picked up a friend from the airport, and I don't know why I didn't take the toll. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I think it's because I was on time. I'm like, I'm on time. I could just I don't need to pay for the toll. And I went I-70, and I regret it every time. Especially because you never know.
They just get you over it because it's such an expensive toll.
It is.
And you're like, God, I don't want to deal with traffic today. I'm going to just go spend the money. And then you get the bill and you're like, $13 to go 20 miles. So
I totally would pay it. I would pay more. Peter's like, oh.
Don't tell them that. They're going to be watching this now and doubling their prices.
That's true. I take the toll and then he'll get a bill and he's like, you took the toll again? I was like, ooh. It's so
the price of convenience.
Easy. Like even going, so we pick up, I pick up my kids from my mother's over in Arvada from our house, and the toll, man, I just like, pew, like you just scoot right on over, And if I take the back roads, I'm just in a totally different mood when I get there.
Yeah.
Mood sometimes has no cost. Okay, that should be on their commercial for the toll. Do they have commercials?
Yeah, I think so.
We don't watch TV.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right, guys. So we talked about a lot of different things about Boulder and Denver. I don't know what's best for you. I would choose Boulder. Peter chooses Denver. So it really just depends. But at least we gave you some of the big topics to consider, especially some of those things that differ, whether it be cost or maybe school systems. But I hope that this information was useful. Please let us know if you have any other questions or if there's any other topics you'd like to cover about each.
And guys, if Boulder or Denver, if you kind of want to go right in the middle, there are some other great cities that we cover. We just did a great video on Broomfield, which might be a good compromise between the two. If you're like us,
100%.
where someone likes Denver and someone likes Boulder, and you're like, all right, we got to find a medium here, right? There are some other cities. Check out that Broomfield video. We did a video on Westminster, another great one to check out. If you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado, give us a call on the phone number below, right there. Reach out, whether it be text or call. We will answer those calls. Doesn't matter if it's a Sunday or a Monday. Yep. And until next time, we love you. Bye. Along those lines, what the hell am I doing? If you are planning on moving to the state of Colorado, licensed real estate agent here, helping you out with
I don't know what's wrong with your tongue. You okay? The tip of the tongue, the teeth. What is it? How's it go?
Okay. Planning on moving into Colorado, lurking.
Weird. Lurking around.
Okay. Is that bad?
I just don't know why you're being weird.
Yeah, I know.
When you're looking.
Oh, I'm starting over?
I did good on my part.
Okay, all right. It's about Whereas Denver, the city of Denver, we're not talking about the county or even the Denver metro area, you're looking at like 838,000. So
800.
Oh, 738. Okay.
39. 739.
739.
Don't look at that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Fort Collins to the north are, furthernmost northern. No, hold on. No.
The furthest northern big city.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Town. It has some similarities to it where you do have so much.
Do you want me to just do it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. They widened the road recently. They added the toll. It came out of nowhere. Okay, ready?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, 160. Oh.
Oh, babe.
You did the wrong one too.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you didn't go in order.
Mm-hmm. We gotta start over now.
Oh. Okay. So mine's a 116.1. Okay.
All right, ready?
All right. Avalanche just won the Stanley Lake.
Stanley Lake?
Stanley Lake. Okay.